Good morning, Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another stream up on Tereak Talks. It's the Premier League Week 10 review. Guys, before I get into it, there's a lot I need to talk about. First of all, massive apologies for the time difference. I know yesterday I set it for 8:15. There was a lot of things that went on, and I was actually in a previous stream before that, and it probably ran over a bit. And you know what? I thought because the Wolves game was on at the time as well. I know there's a lot of Wolves fans. Jake, I want to apologise to as well. But I wanted to make sure that every game stayed in this review because we have all your predictions to go through. Here he is. Here's Jake right in the comments. Nice to see you, my brother. Early mornings, getting me up early out of bed for this. But you know what? I've got to anyway. I've got work. But yeah, so I thought it's a good way to start the day. And you know what? Bringing you this show at a different time will also help for the other viewers that may be watching elsewhere across the world. I know Bungle may be able to watch this in the Far East, and there's plenty more viewers that watch these shows at different times, and this might be a time that you guys can catch me live. Yes, you might not catch me live right now today, but be aware that I think I will be bringing the Premier League previews. I mean, not the previews, the reviews early in the mornings so that you guys can catch it. And those of you watching later, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Apologies for the time delay. Apologies that you're not able to get involved. But yeah, let's see what Jake's saying in the comments. It's like Soccer AM, but on a Monday. Yes, it is. You are right. It is exactly like that. And I think I've run through everything. Yes, I have run through everything that I needed to. So I hope you're all good. And let's get ready. Let's get strapped in because there's a lot of fixtures we have to run through. What a weekend of Premier League football. If you're an Arsenal fan, if you're a Palace fan, if you're a Brighton fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, and if you're a Spurs fan, I think you probably came out the winners, even though in defeat. So let's go into that. Let's start off with the first game of the weekend. We have the Leicester versus Arsenal at the King Power Stadium. My boys in red and white, Arsenal keeping up their good run by winning by 2-0. We had goals from Gabriel Magalhaes and Emil Smith-Rowe within the opening 20 minutes after another fast start by the Gunners, which we saw against Palace and we saw against Villa too. And then I was glad that we was able to bring that into this game. And we had the game wrapped and done up from early. In the second half, though, it wasn't as plain sailing. So it was interesting to see that Arsenal could control the game and could take the result in the end. Let me talk about the predictions. I went for an Arsenal 2-1 win, and Ed went for a Leicester 2-1 win. So I was happy and pleased with that. And you know what? Even though I got my prediction wrong, it wasn't spot on. The fact that we kept a clean sheet surprised me. What a performance by Aaron Ramsdale. I know, Jake, you're watching this live in the comments. I know how you admire watching good goalkeepers, especially an English goalkeeper like Aaron Ramsdale, proving the doubters wrong. Whereas you may have known, if you have been a long-time subscriber onto this channel, I always said, let's not stop judging these players off of before they've even pulled on a shirt. For Aaron Ramsdale, I thought I understood the signing. I understood the importance of signing a goalkeeper. I think hindsight now, every Arsenal fan does in terms of how we play, his distribution. Do you know what? His distribution's been spoken about a lot, but for me, I think his distribution has been a little inconsistent. But when he does get it right, my word, how he sets us up on the counter-attack, and he doesn't put us under those pressurised situations that Leno seemed to have done, playing this Arteta way, playing out of the back, trying to keep it short, linking up the play. So big up to Aaron Ramsdale there. No one in the TTF fan got this correct, though. Nobody got the scoreline bang on. There was a few people, obviously Arsenal fans, going for an Arsenal win, like Moss and Creambone. But, you know, come on, everyone was doubting us. We had Rich saying 3-1 Leicester. So, you know what? I'm going to take it. I was happy with that. And that was a big test for the Arsenal. So now that we've moved past that one, we've got Watford in this weekend coming, and then after that, on my birthday, after the international break, we have Liverpool. That is going to be key. I don't even think it's going to be key in terms of winning the game. I think it's key in terms of how we perform. Because if we lose the game, if we lose 2-0, 2-1, but we perform valiantly and we look dangerous and we look like we could cause Liverpool some problems, that right there shows a lot of progress. And if we can grab a result, then you know what? We haven't done that at Anfield for a while in the Premier League. So yes, definitely. Let me go down into the comments right here. What a performance from the lad. Exactly, Jake. You got to admire that. You got to admire his character too. He's got a bit of banter about him. Did you see that when the Leicester fans were trying to give him some stick and he gave it a little... I loved seeing that. And I'm loving Ramsdale at the moment. Everything he does. Claiming crosses. He saves. That save. Oh, ridiculous. I was having a debate in my watch along about that with Steve. Peter Schmeichel's then come out and said it was one of the best saves he's seen in recent years. So can't really argue with him there. I was saying that David Raya's save, Brentford against Arsenal, was up there for me because of where the ball was and in terms of how quickly the shot was taken and how low, and it would look like it was nestled into the bottom corner from Pepe, but David Raya got down to make the save. But what goes in Aaron Ramsdale's favour was the sun. The fact that the sun was in his eyes and it was such a short distance with the wall in front of him blocking his view. So you have to give massive credit. And then the biggest part of that save for me was the fact how he reacted. He didn't even have a clue where the ball was, reacted and made that second save. So Aaron Ramsdale, top goalkeeper, and proving why he's worth every single penny that Arsenal invested in him. Sheesh, early stream. Tell me about it, Isaiah. I know. Is Conte officially a Spurs manager? Fabrizio Romano is giving it the here we go. We will talk a lot more about that when we get into the Spurs Manchester United game. We've got Jay up in here as well. Yo, this is early, my guy. It is. You are right, Jay. This is very early. I'm trying to bring these shows a lot more into the morning so that people can watch it at different times, because I know some people may have work when I'm streaming, maybe not even be awake when for different viewers. So we're trying to get as many Tereak Talks fan in here. But I'm glad to see you here, man. You're doing well to get up this early and putting stick on the YouTube. 18-month contract offered to Conte, latest I heard. You are correct, Paxton, and stay around, Paxton, because I'm sure you know this already. You've got 2 results spot on, and we'll get into that, and I've got to give you praise there. It would have been better if it went over the bar instead of hitting it, but it's still an amazing save. I think that kind of adds to it. If you're talking of pure goalkeepers, like pure goalkeeping saves, yes, definitely it would have been better, but because it hit the bar, it shows you like, wow, that was going in. And if it weren't for that touch from Ramsdale, you know what I mean? So yeah, and the reaction save, that showed, that's what every keeper needs to look at, every aspiring goalkeeper, even if you're just playing at a lower level. But that's the reaction to the save, and that's what helped. And that little save, that one that hit his knee, just blocking that shot from Johnny Evans, prevented it from going over the line. So Arsenal proving their worth in this game. And let's move on into the next game. And this is the Burnley... Oh, sorry. I don't know what's happening right there. There we go. Burnley 3, Brentford 1. And the predictions in this game, I was the only one throughout the stream, including Ed and the chat, to go for a Burnley win. So I'm chuffed with that result. Ed went for a 2-0 Brentford win, and he specifically said... Burnley, can't see them scoring. And I said, you said that last week against Southampton, they only went and scored 2. He went, yeah, but at least Chris Wood didn't score. And then, within the first 4 minutes, guess who scored? Yes, you guessed it, Chris Wood. So that just says a lot for me. Ed, be careful how you speak about Burnley. Every time you speak bad against them, they always go and prove you wrong. But what a big result that is for Burnley, by the way. And that, to me, just shows you that the Premier League, how strong it is, how anyone can beat anyone on their day. And Sean Dyche came out in the interview afterwards and said, you know, I've been saying this for weeks. Our performances haven't been bad, but we just haven't got the results over the line. And what we saw from this game from Burnley, they could have won by more. Burnley were much the better team. Brentford look like they're suffering now. They look like they've been... It's probably a bit reactionary to say they look like they've been found out a bit, but I think the injury to David Raya is massive when you've got an important position like that. We're just talking, I think this is a goalkeeper show so far. When we're talking about Aaron Ramsdale and how important he's been in terms of how Arsenal play and how our defence is being marshalled by that goalkeeper, there's defenders. You know, when you've got that consistent, solid, you know, that same voice behind you, and someone who communicates so well. I think David Raya is very good at that. He's a top goalkeeper. And Alvaro Fernandez, brand new to the Premier League, only signed for Brentford this summer. It was one of those ones, and I think it caused that little bit of uncertainty at the back. But credit to Burnley because of that wonderful performance. Maxwell Cornet, again, on the score sheet, FPL, keep your eye out for him. If people playing FPL, probably wouldn't play him this weekend. I wouldn't put him in your team because this weekend, Burnley are playing Chelsea away from home. But yeah, man, Burnley, what a result that is for them. And you know what? People tipping Burnley to go down. I think I was one of them. I tipped Burnley to go down. They have had a very difficult start to the season in terms of their results, but a big win here against Brentford. And that may kick them on and kick them forward. So yeah, let me just go into that. What we're saying, do you think Spurs have the players Conte needs for a 3-5-2 formation? I'm just jealous of that save. First win for Burnley, Cornet on fire. You are right about that. Cornet, the goals he's scoring as well, Isaiah, tremendous. And showing he's playing up front for Burnley, and there was a lot of questions when he was coming into Burnley. You know, everyone was shocked by that because it's not really a Burnley signing for many reasons. But it's also in terms of the positions that he's played. He started his career as a striker, then moved to a left winger, and then also has played left wing back and left back. So now we're seeing Maxwell Cornet go back to where he started, playing up front and proving why he's worth it. He's worth every single penny that they've spent on him. Looking at Brentford's backup keepers, it's not looking great exactly, and that causes a problem. That's what unsettles a defence. Early birds, tell me about it. What time are you in the gym? Natty, I'm not in the gym today. Do you know what, man? I haven't been to the gym for more than a few weeks right now, and and I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry to myself because I need to be looking after my body, treating myself well. But yeah, it's been so busy. I'm trying to get as much content out there as possible with the games coming in thick and fast, work being quite intense as well in the past few weeks. So yeah, and tonight I would usually, you know what? Because I'm doing a video now, I could definitely have made time for the gym later on, but I'm going to Link Shearer later. We're going to grab some food as I haven't seen that man in a long time. But yep. Big man, nice to see you, Know-How. Thank you for coming in. And when's the next watch along, bro? The next watch along is tomorrow. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. I will be bringing you that one. Unfortunately, it won't be the one tonight as I'm out. But yeah, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid. I'll be bringing you that one tomorrow for the Champions League. So stay tuned for that. It's all good. You're working. Yeah, exactly, man. I hope you're doing well yourself. Hope you're keeping well, Natty. You know what? I missed you, man. I ain't seen you in the gym for a long time. You know, them catch-ups, them banter. And you know what? It would have been perfect the past few weeks because obviously you're a Manchester United fan. But you know what? Coming to you, talking to you off the back of a win, that's probably what you'd have preferred as well. But I hope you're keeping well, my bro. But let's move on into the next game. And that is Liverpool 2. Sorry, it's happening again. Liverpool 2, Brighton 2 at Anfield. Let's go into the scorers of this game. Jordan Henderson and Sadio Mane giving Liverpool that 2-0 lead before Brighton hit back with Enoch and Wepu. What a goal that was, by the way, and what a player. Brighton's recruitment once again showing that it doesn't really matter about the names that you sign as long as you look and scout players properly and buy players that fit the system that Graham Potter is building. You know what I mean? It can work, and then the value of the likes of Enoch and Wepu is only increasing and skyrocketing. And another product of the RB Salzburg Academy, and Leandro Trossard scoring in the 65th minute. What a game this was! Brighton could probably feel a little bit unfortunate to not take the 3 points, but I guess you could say that for Liverpool too, having Sadio Mane's goal disallowed after Robert Sanchez howler in the end. But yeah, in terms of that game, in terms of the predictions, I went for a Liverpool win. Ed went for a Liverpool win. I went for 2-0. Ed went for a 3-0, and so did the rest of TTF. So this was quite a surprise. But given in hindsight as well, hindsight's 2020, it's not a surprise with how Brighton play. Brighton are fantastic. And I think a lot of people, and including myself, when we went for that Liverpool win, we was taken off the back of the result against Man City. However, in the second half, they were much better than Manchester City. And that first half kind of flattered them. And even the goals that were scored, a lot of them were quite fortunate against Manchester City, that Manchester City did score. So 4-1 was definitely flattering. But going away to Liverpool and picking up a point is an outstanding achievement. I remember Chelsea doing that earlier on in the season, getting praised for it. Manchester City fans, they were happy about picking up a point at Anfield. So imagine how Brighton and Hove Albion are feeling. And Graham Potter's stock just keeps on rising, people. So yeah, Liverpool though, in terms of them, do I think that this is a big dent in their title challenge? Not really. I think that any team is susceptible to dropping points to a team like Brighton. If you're a Liverpool fan, yes, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed about the result and about how your team generally played in the second half. Didn't really cause Brighton that much issues, especially being 2-0 up. You think that you'd be able to ride that out. However, as we've seen from Liverpool this season, the defence hasn't looked as solid as it has previously. But with how Liverpool are playing and what Liverpool want to do, I think they're trying to outscore opposition teams. That may prove to be a downfall in terms of a league title push when you've got teams like Chelsea, who are very defensively solid and sound, and they build that foundation off of the defence. We'll have to wait and see. And, there's still plenty of time left to go in the season. We'll go into the league table at the end, but that's just a big point there for Brighton. And you know what, Liverpool, as we're going to move on into the next game, and before I do that, let me get into the comments below, because I think I went to the Wolves game yesterday, and Bruno has got Wolves playing great football. Yes, he really has. And well, Wolves were dazzling in that game, and we'll get into that later as well, because I'll talk a lot more about Wolves. But I do agree with you there. Just go to the Palace game, lol. Chat to me. Yes, Jay, I will chat to you. That is the next game coming up. Wolves are my favourite team to watch. And Van Dijk hasn't hit the same levels after the injury. Still great, but not as good as before. I think I mentioned this at the start of the season, though, Paxton. When you come off of a serious knee injury like that, it will take a while for you to reach those levels that you were at previously, physically, because of how your body reacts and changes to those things. If you're a footballer, a professional athlete who's consistently trained every day and kept up a level of intensity, and then completely dropped off because of an injury that Van Dijk had, and the levels and the fitness levels these professional athletes have to keep and maintain, and we've seen how frequently footballers have to play in a week. So even the fatigue factor may be a part of it too. So there's a lot of sports science behind it, Paxton. So I do think you are right. It will take a while. I said I don't think we'll see. If we do, I think we will, because Van Dijk is such a fantastic defender. When we do, I think it'll be post-Christmas. That's when Van Dijk will start to regain that form, and his body will start to get used to the demands of Premier League football and professional top-level football. So, yeah, I do think it will take a while, but he's still seeing that he's solid. However, 2 goals conceded to Brighton, and there could have been more. Let's move on into that next game before Jay bites my head off, and it is Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2. Wow, what a game this is. And Patrick Vieira is at it again. Got the 3 points that he deserved in this game. Wilfred and Zaha. I was about to say Wilfred and Didi then, but then mixed it with Zaha. So Wilfred Zaha in the 6th minute taking the lead with a scuffed effort, which if he doesn't scuff that, I'm not sure if it goes in, because Ederson does dive, but it goes over his hand. So to me, I think that Ederson could have done better there. We've seen this from Ederson in this game, where he has those errors. And you see like some goals going, you're like, how's that gone in with Ederson? I think it doesn't really get picked up on with Ederson. But yeah, he does do some crazy things, and that's because of the wonderful goalkeeper that he is. He gets a lot of plaudits for making big saves, but most importantly, his distribution and what he contributes to City in that aspect. But you know what? You have to look at Ederson there, and there's a few mistakes that creep into his game, and you see it in these types of games where they do get defeats. It doesn't really get spoken about a lot because of what he adds, and he's a fantastic goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think he could have done better with that. But then, just on the brink of half time, Wilfried Zaha again causing problems and getting Aymeric Laporte sent off. And this is a talking point, and this is what I want to bring up. I think for me, that was a red card because there was a similar incident in the Leicester Arsenal game where Johnny Evans, you may have seen it, you may have seen it on Match of the Day or on any of the highlights, where Johnny Evans does the exact same thing to Aubameyang. And I was calling for a red card then because he was last man and he was denial of a goal scoring opportunity. And the exact same was for Zaha in this game. I've seen a lot of people say actually that they didn't think it was a red card because it was too far away from goal. But if you're the last man, on the halfway line, is it too far away from goal? Then I don't quite understand this. Because I don't think you should count distance into it. Because if it's from a corner and everyone's in the box, I mean, even if you're in your own half and then somebody takes you out last man when you're running through 1v1 with a goalkeeper, it's a red card for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But let me go back into that because Conor Gallagher in the 88th minute, what a player he is. What a signing that's proving to be on loan from Chelsea. You know, as they say, never fall in love with a loan player. But I think Crystal Palace fans, you will be forgiven for doing that because the performances he's put in this season, not just for Palace, but for my fancy Premier League team as well. Apologies for that, pardon me. What a player. Got king of the match in this game, man of the match. There's just a few players that I want to pick up for Palace. Because Tereak Mitchell, another one, what a fullback he is going forward, defensively, solid. Manchester United, you signed the wrong fullback from Crystal Palace. You should have got this lad instead because he brings you a lot to his game going forward and defensively 1v1. Who was playing up against him? Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, apart from that disallowed goal, which was Vicente Guaita's fault. Yeah. Tereak Mitchell, what a player. Joel Ward, reviving his career. I mean, he was playing consistently under Roy Hodgson, but there was a lot of questions, a lot of doubt to Joel Ward, whether he would suit the system that Patrick Vieira wants to play. He's proving that he is and that he can. Big up Joel Ward for that one. And then the centre-backs, Mark Gay, Joachim Andersen, really proving their worth. Mark Gay, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was the better of the two. Don't get me wrong, Joachim Andersen was fantastic, but Mark Gay on the ball, defensively, progressing the ball forward, driving from the defence. And you know what? That's what you want to see from your modern-day centre-backs, and it proves why Chelsea produced another talent from their academy. So, you know what I mean? Cheku Kiyate had a brilliant performance. Had a lot of Crystal Palace fans talk about him there. James McArthur, the captain for today, the tenacity, the aggression, and the bite that he brings into that midfield, as well as the quality. And that's very similar to Conor Gallagher, which what he brings, that goal-scoring prowess, those late runs into the box, carrying the ball forward, set piece taker too, and then Wilfried Zaha up top, causing nightmares all game long. Odsonne Edouard was playing off the left, which shows PV has his tactical nous and knows how to set up the team into this, because everybody thought that Edouard was going to start up top and Wilfried Zaha on the left, and it was pretty exciting. But then also to bring on Michael Elise, who had a massive contribution. You heard me preach about Michael Elise, telling you to keep an eye on this kid, and this was even before I even knew Jay or Rich, before I even met them. So you know what, I'm taking my flowers there. But yeah, Crystal Palace, what a game for them. And Manchester City, in terms of them too, I think I actually went for a 2-1 Manchester City win, and Ed went for a 1-1. And me and Ed, I was saying, do you know what? I'm not as brave as you, Ed, to say that Man City will definitely drop points, but I could see it. And that is the inconsistencies that Manchester City have without a top class number 9, because a top class number 9 in this game can scrape and drag you through. a result, a top-class goal scorer, because Manchester City spread their goals throughout the team. If it doesn't click for some reason, and a team defends resolutely, and it's just not your day, I find it hard to see who can pick up that slack and who can just drag your team and drag a result. I mean, a draw wouldn't have been bad in this game. And you know what? If obviously other factors are involved with Aymeric Laporte's red card, but a striker, a top-class striker, could drag you through these and grab a result. And then you know what? You move and you forget about this one and you improve. And Pep Guardiola gets to improve on the training pitch. But yeah, in this one, there's a lot of scrutiny being made. I looked at Manchester City again. That's another. That's their second defeat and more drop points at home, as they did to Southampton. So yeah, Manchester City proving why the striker is a miss in a way. Let me go back into the comments. Where do you see Crystal Palace finishing this season? Not good enough for Europe with the teams around, but nowhere near relegation battle. Should get 10th or 11th easy. And Paxton, I think that's a good shout. And I think you've made some well-rounded points there as well. Actually, you've hit the nail on the head. For me, I'm going to say, I think Palace, top half of the table, that's what they need to be looking at. And I think they could challenge for Europe. But this is their second win of the season. Maybe if Palace can go on a run of games now, they have had the most difficult start to the season and impressed in performances, apart from the Chelsea game. But since then, every performance, they've looked like they could grab a result out of the game. I mean, when they played Arsenal, they should have won that if it wasn't for a Lacazette last-minute equaliser. By the way, for the Arsenal fans and Crystal Palace fans that were criticising me and criticising Arsenal fans for celebrating a draw, have some of that. I know you're going to be happy, Crystal Palace fans, but you know what? That's why, because this Premier League isn't predictable. It's not about that back in the day. So to get the old-fashioned ways out of your head where there was two teams dominant. Arsenal were dominating the Premier League, going invincible, and, was able to beat any team in the league and, was expected to beat everyone. This Premier League is not like that anymore. Anyone can get it, literally. So, yeah, man. And Crystal Palace are one of those fantastic teams that can beat anyone this season. Beating Spurs 3-0, Manchester City 2-0. Anyone can get it from Crystal Palace. They were very unfortunate against Liverpool too. But yeah, man, difficult one. I'm going to say top half. I'm going to say ninth. That's where they could finish. Above Villa. So yeah, definitely. Wolves and Crystal Palace, that would be an interesting game on the weekend. We'll bring you that on the weekend preview. Good morning, Mama G. Hope you're doing good. You should be asleep. You're on holiday. But yeah, did you see what happened with Sergio Aguero? He went to hospital for something. Thank you for bringing that up, Paxton, because I just want to say quickly, all my best wishes for Sergio Aguero. He's created one of my best... I'm not a Manchester City fan, but in terms of footballing memories, one of the greatest footballing memories that I've ever witnessed as a child as well, with that last-minute winner. And what a player he's been in the Premier League. And with those chest pains, I think it's a bit... I'm not going to talk too much on it because it can get quite political, but we're starting to see this happen more common, not necessarily within players, but in the West Bromwich Albion and Bristol City game, two fans, the game had to be delayed twice at halftime and before kickoff for fans falling ill. And we saw what happened in the Newcastle game. Yeah, enough said. But yes, I did hear about Aguero. Sending my best wishes out for him. Hopefully he gets back and he's going to have some cardiology tests. So they're going to check his heart and to see if that was the cause of anything. I'm hoping that he'll return and he'll be okay. But that's the main thing is for his health and that he'll return there. Munzi, yes, mate. Great show. Big up. Nice to see you there, Munzi. Catch Tereak on my show last night was a great show. Yes, if you want to you want to see more of me, and you know what? Check out Munzi's channel as well. Munzi Talks. He's a Manchester United fan. We had plenty of fans on there. We had Rich who was on there. We had some other Manchester United fans. We had a Nottingham Forest fan. We had a Plymouth fan who was struggling for his internet. So yes, thank you for inviting me on there, Munzi. Nice to see you in the chat right now. let us move on into the next game. If I can get my screen sorted out, apologies, people. Keep your comments flying in. In terms of the predictions in that game, yep, I went for a 2-1. Nobody went for a Crystal Palace winning the TTF. But this is where the TTF, you start picking up your form in this. So the next game I will go to is that Newcastle 0, Chelsea 3. I said 3-0 to Chelsea. I got it spot on. So, guys, give me my flowers. Before this weekend, I was coming in bottom of the league with eight points, and Ed with 9, and the TTF with 10. I don't have the tables, by the way, for this one. Ed will be sorting that one out for the next Premier League preview. But I got this bang on. Ed said 2-0 Chelsea, so he's got some points there. But a big shout out to Steve Stone, who said 3-0. Grace, who changed her mind, actually. And I think, Steve, you had a big part in that. Grace also said 3-0, so a big shout out to Grace, who is a Chelsea fan. She'll be doubly happy with this one. And then also Rich, he also said 3-0 to Chelsea. So a lot of people went 3-0 for Chelsea in this one. Everyone went for a Chelsea win, so everyone's got points there. But yeah, what a game. What a performance from Reece James, scoring 2 goals, and the goals that he did score, fantastic. And Reece James is proving why. For me, I think he should be in the England setup, and he is. But I think he's proving why he's probably the most balanced right back. And in terms of the English fullbacks for England long term, with what he provides defensively and going forward, I think he should be the number one. I know Trent and how amazing Trent is, and I sing the praises of Trent, and I think he gets a lot of stick defensively. Too much. I think that's overblown. I do think, yes, he's not as good defensively as he's going forward. However, Reece James does provide that balance, and he's scoring a lot more goals this season too. We know we've seen him have some good strikes for Chelsea. He's covered a couple important penalties in the League Cup for them. He scored a big one in midweek against Southampton. But yeah, Reece James, what a player. And then Jorginho scoring a penalty that was won by Kai Havertz. So Chelsea aren't missing their strikers at all. They're not missing no Romelu Lukaku or Timo Werner. That's 10 goals in the last 2 games without them. And, you know, Newcastle are a poor side. And to talk on Newcastle quickly as well, Unai Emery linked with the job. For me, I think that's a perfect appointment for Newcastle, because I think Emery is that guy that can, short term, he would be able to keep Newcastle up, I believe, with some backing in the summer. However, he's a short-term manager and someone that he doesn't play the most attractive football, don't get me wrong, but he can get results, and he'll pick up a lot of draws. I tell you that for a fact. As an Arsenal fan, I saw a lot of draws. So he'll make it difficult to beat Newcastle if you do get him. And I think that he'd probably be that sort of Marcus, like Mancini. I don't think he's quite good enough to be the Mancini manager, but Marcus, I think he'd be similar to that level. So Newcastle fans, if you are happy with that, let me know if any of you are watching. And Jay's gone said, do you think Newcastle could be in serious trouble or not? Yeah, definitely. Jay, I do think they could be. This Premier League's ruthless. With the amount of signings they're going to have to make in January, I think that's going to take its toll as well. Because when you're trying to transition a squad that quickly mid-season, I think it can cause a lot of trouble. And if your recruitment isn't spot on and you start slowly, players don't hit the ground running, it can make it even worse than it is now because of the team dynamics, because of the players not settling in, maybe not suitable for English football. So yeah, I do think they could be in big trouble, and they could. And do you know what? With other teams in this league, anyone can get it. So Newcastle, do you know what? I think they could go down. I think they will go down as well. I'm saying that now. Newcastle should just stay up this season, but it will be a hard fight. I totally agree, Paxton. But I think that they will go down. Sato, Ollie's master plan. You can't be fired if you make your replacement go to another team. What a genius. Exactly that. And he didn't just, he said, I heard, what? Man United fans want Conte? I'll bring Conte to United. I don't think he's the best defensively. No, James. Okay. Don't you think so? I think he's better than Trent defensively. 1v1. He's a good defender. I've seen him have troubles defensively as well. So I do see where you're coming from there. Kieran Tierney caused him a lot of troubles last season. 1v1 when Arsenal won 3-1. However, I do think he's decent, but I see where you're coming from there, Munzi. Good evening at Newcastle. Oh dear, exactly. Good evening. Will do well at Newcastle. They don't have standards or expectations. Well, with our board, we say so. As an Arsenal fan, you must be angry about Conte to Spurs. I will get into that in a bit. Jay, I know I need to hurry up now. I'm going to move on into the next game, and that is Watford. Let me go back actually so we can get it up on the big screen because I think there's a bit too much going on when I do that. Watford 0, Southampton 1. Good result for Southampton. In this game, I went for a Watford win by 2-1. Ed went for a 0-0 and everyone else went for... no one else went for a win. I think people went for a draw in this game. That was the most common one. I got it completely wrong. I didn't even get in anywhere near close. I thought Watford would win. Che Adams, what a goal that was, by the way. Adam Armstrong missing plenty of chances once again. But Southampton starting to pick up results. They picked up a lot of draws, but starting to pick up the wins now. So that's important for them in their survival battle. Mid-table will be a good season for Southampton. And what's going to happen to Ralph Hasenhüttl at the end of the season? We'll have to wait and see. But let's move on into the next game. I know I'll brush through that one very quickly because this is the one. Manchester United 3, Tottenham 0. Who actually came out the winners in this game? Yes, Manchester United won the game. Cristiano Ronaldo, what a goal. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Wow. Edison Cavani, another wonderful goal. Nice chip, nice dink over the goalkeeper. Marcus Rashford comes off of the bench and just settles the game against a very tepid Spurs side. Awful performance. Nuno getting booze, eventually getting sacked. But the big news is, and this game's quite irrelevant because Manchester United... Let me just talk on Manchester United before I go into the big news about Tottenham. Manchester United, playing with that 5 at the back formation, it was almost 7 with Wan-Bissaka at wing-back, Luke Shaw, and then you got the 3 centre-backs of Lindelof, Maguire and Varane, and then McFred in the middle. So even when Ollie plays 5 at the back, he still has to play McFred. Wow. Says a lot, really. Cavani and Ronaldo playing up top, though, they linked very well. I think Ronaldo, at the stage that he's in his career, I think you do have to play a second striker next to him. And what Edinson Cavani brings too is that pressing that Ronaldo doesn't bring. So, and that tenacity and that intensity that he does bring. So, yeah, I think you do need to play with 2 up front to get the best out of Ronaldo at this point in his career. I mean, Ronaldo's always going to score goals anyway, whether he's 1 up front or 2. But in terms of the team dynamics, I think that you need to play 2 Manchester United fans. And that's what you'd have got with Conte. So you've got it with Ollie now. And speaking of Antonio Conte, let me go back to this question here, because this is a big one. As an Arsenal fan, you must be angry about Conte going to Spurs. Do you know what, Jay? This might be a bit controversial. I'm not worried at all. Do you know why? Because this is Spurs. Conte's better than Mourinho, and Conte coming in has a lot more pedigree than what Mourinho had done when he came into Spurs. The similarities, though, was but Mourinho, even when Mourinho's bad, he still wins a trophy at Spurs. Look at the players he's got. He's got Harry Kane, he's got Son, he's got Ndombele. He's made all these signings that he wanted. He wanted the likes of Reguilon. He wanted Carlos Vinicius. Look how that ended up. It's Spurs. It is Spurs at the end of the day. Spurs will Spurs Conte. I think I'm a top manager. Don't get me wrong. Wonderful. Like he'll cause a lot of problems, and he will win Spurs a trophy. It might be the Europa Conference League, and if Spurs do win that, they can't be sniffing at that. They can't be looking down at that, because what have Spurs won in recent years, in recent days? Do you know what it is actually, people? It's 5,000 days since Spurs last won a trophy. Happy 5,000 days since Spurs last won a trophy, and you've got Antonio Conte in. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Manchester United fans, you can be one of them, and you might vouch me on this. Let's not celebrate an arrival, because remember when everyone was celebrating Cristiano Ronaldo coming in? I was at working right now. Let me just say that. But yeah, I'm not that worried. It might be a bit controversial. I might have to eat my humble pie at one point. But this league's ridiculous now with the top managers that we have in there. If people think that it guarantees Spurs like winning a trophy. With the amount of teams that are in this league, I don't think it can do that anymore. It doesn't even guarantee them a League Cup or even definitely not a Premier League or even an FA Cup because of the managers and the teams that are in this league. He's got a lot to do. He has, and he will want to transition this side. And do you know what he's going to do as well, Spurs fans? If any Spurs fans are watching, but if not, he's going to make these signings that everyone's like, whoa, why is he signing that man for? And then because they'll fit his system, they'll do a job. Short-term signings, that's what Antonio Conte makes. And Spurs panicking again. They're not building something. They're not looking to build something sustainable like they did with Pochettino. Antonio Conte, he may do win a trophy. He may well, but he's a short-term manager. He is. And that's what he's proven in the recent years. So Watford are up and down. Yes, they are. We won the battle but lost the war. Yes, I did see some influencers saying that. Well, content creators, shall I say. Manchester United playing Conte's formation is the carrot on the cake. Stu MC, it's nothing to do with 5-3-2. It's back to cowardice tactics to screen Maguire and Shaw being obese. In terms of that, I do think it is to screen Maguire and Shaw and their deficiencies. I agree with you there. Fred are lost. They lose possession and even think their strikers blasting the ball over the bar. The biggest issue with United is no clear strategy or positioning discipline. Manchester United fans saying Fred had a good game, but because he had a decent shot and wasn't terrible, our standards are in the mud. Ollie, and that's the same with what's his name as well. With McTominay, sorry. Not even a Conte can help that mess. Black and Blanco, B&B, thank you. I'm glad that you echo those thoughts. And that's what I just think that Spurs are. You can't polish a turd. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they are a mess. They are horrific, Spurs. And yes, that is putting a cherry on top of a turd. Do you know what I mean? So be careful. You can't polish a turd. Last final I remember for Spurs is in the Carling Cup League. Yep. 2008-9 season, we beat them on penalties back then, Paxton, and that's why it's been 5,000 days since they last won a trophy. But let's move on into the last. No, that's not last. The last 4 games. Let me run through them quickly. In terms of before I do that, in terms of the Spurs Man United game, I said 3-1 to Manchester United. Oh man, why did I back Spurs to even score a goal? Ed said 3-2, and Creambone, you also said 3-1. So me and you, yeah, we're ruining it. We're ruining that mistake, that even backing Spurs to grab a goal. The next game, sorry, my collar's been a bit messed up. Apologies for that. It annoys me when it does that. But yeah, the next game is Norwich versus Leeds. Norwich losing by 2-1, shall I say. Rafinha, what a player, what a goal. Leeds picking up 3 points at Carrow Road. Leeds looking dodgy again, though. Wasn't very convincing. We know how poor Norwich are. However, Ed did get this spot on. He did say 2-1. And Paxton, yep, you said it too. You also said 2-1 to Leeds. You didn't get the goal scorers correct, though, but big up Paxton, man. You said this one bang on. Norwich, horrific again. Leeds, scraping a result. The goals came in quick succession, actually. Let me have a look when the goals did come. We had the first one in the 56th. Yeah, so what? That's 3 goals in 4 minutes. Fair play to in that game. I did see them all, but yeah, Leeds, Norwich. Leeds not looking the same Leeds as they were previously, picking up a lot more injuries. I think Marcelo Bielsa's style is taking its toll on the boys now. But yeah, Leeds I think they will stay up, and I think this will be Bielsa's last season too. Leeds fans, if you are watching afterwards, let me know in the comments your thoughts, because I want to get interacting with a lot more Leeds fans and other fans of other clubs too. The next game later on was Aston Villa 1, West Ham 4. I didn't back them. I said Villa were going to win this game. I was wrong. I'll hold my hands up. Wow. Ed said for a draw, but he also said if I was a betting man, he would have went for a West Ham win. Nobody in the comments got the prediction, got the score bang on. West Ham. Wow. Fair play. And this is why West Ham are a force to be reckoned with within the Premier League. Ben Johnson scoring. I thought Emilion Emi Martinez. I know he's had some personal issues, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I thought he could have done better for a couple of the goals with Ben Johnson and Declan Rice. Pablo Fornals. There was a lot of contentious decisions in this game. Ezri Konsa getting sent off. I think that was the right decision. Courtney Horse could have got sent off for an elbow on Pablo Fornals. It was quite spicy and intense, this game. It was a good watch. I wish I did a watch long for it. But yeah, Jared Bowen making it for West Ham. And they're doing this without even getting Antonio on the score sheet. So that says a lot to how West Ham are. But West Ham causing a problem. Top 4, could they get it? I don't think so, because I think Europa League, when they get into the latter stages, will take its toll on their squad. They'll pick up a lot more injuries when the games start coming in thick and fast. So I've said that all season. So I've got to stay on that hill. If I die on that hill, I mean, you know what? That's what it is. It is what it is. I'll take my medicine. But into the final game of the weekend, people, I'm going to have to start wrapping this up soon. I've got to get ready to go to work. And that was Wolves 2, Everton 1. We saw what Natty was saying earlier on. Bruno's got them playing ball. Wolves went 2-0 up. They had a disallowed goal from Hwang. And then Everton that didn't equalise. They grabbed a consolation. Looked like they could gain a little bit of a fight back through Iwobi. But nah, Wolves were amazing in this game. Hwang scoring again when he got disallowed. But Max Kilman scoring off an 8-yard corner. And Raul Jimenez pouncing on that Ben Godfrey mistake, dinking it over. Jordan Pickford, Wolverhampton Wanderers, how they're performing. Crystal Palace fans, that we've seen a lot being spoken about Crystal Palace, but I think Wolverhampton Wanderers are doing something very similar, moving from pragmatic coaches into a more progressive, attractive style of play, creating plenty of chances, not picking up the results that they should have at the start of the season too, when they were getting through difficult games. But now it's getting spicy, it's getting intense. And guys, I want to bring you the league table now. Tables, there we go. So we can bring it right here in full for you. Sorry, I wasn't even sharing my screen. Let me zoom into it as well, because making sure that you can all see that, guys. So sitting pretty at the top is Chelsea with 25 points, 3 points ahead of Liverpool in second. That might prove quite big. They do, as you can see here as well, they do have Burnley in the next game and a 3 o'clock kickoff. So you expect them to keep that lead or maybe even extend it, because there's a difficult fixture. What a game that is. I definitely will be bringing you a watch along for that one. West Ham versus Liverpool. There's another one. Manchester City going away to Manchester United. Can they pick that result? Can they put Ollie's final nail in the coffin? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Ali might be here to stay for the rest of the season. Arsenal in 6th now. In so high, we're getting a nosebleed in 6th, but we've got Watford in that next game. We'll be talking a lot more about that in the preview, in the Premier League preview. But this is just the table. Wolves in 7th, by the way, and they have Crystal Palace. What a game that's going to be. Entertaining football. Oh man, I might have to watch that game. I'm not going to do a watch on because it's 3 o'clock, and how I watch the games, it's a little bit behind. Bit more than a little bit, but yeah, I will be watching that game. Keep my eye out for that one. And in the middle of the table, Tottenham in 9th. Antonio Conte, that may be his first game against Rafa Benitez, is Everton in a mid-table battle. And then also at the bottom, in the bottom 3, we have Norwich, Newcastle, and Burnley. Burnley 3 points behind Leeds. I think these. Do you know what? Norwich are definitely down. We'll have to see how Newcastle do, because I think the relegation battle might get interesting as well. Villa looking like they're getting dragged in there. Palace, they're above it. Yes, they're above it for now. They're 5 points above it, so they don't have to worry about it. And look at that. They've gone through their most difficult period. So we'll have to wait and see. But guys, I'm going to run in through the comments now and then love and leave you all. Let me go back to here. Whatever keeps Ollie in a job is good for everyone else. I agree with you there, B&B. West Ham European team now for S years if they invest correctly. Yes, and with those new owners, those Czech Republic billionaires, they might be here to stay. Do you know what I mean? West Ham will finish above United the way we're playing. I think there's a lot of games to go in the season. I know what you mean. It can get quite negative, and with how West Ham are performing and how you guys are playing, I see what you're saying. But injuries and injuries will come thick and fast for West Ham. Squad depth, I think that will prove to be their downfall. And you may end up sacking Ollie Munzi. So we'll have to wait and see there. Leeds system is fine. Likes of Harrison, Phillips, etc. are not offering the same angles they used to. It's about attitude. Ayling missed. Phillips was a brainless hothead prior to Bielsa. He's a genius. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Stu. I do think that Marcelo Bielsa is a genius, and I think you're right there. However, with how intense Marcelo Bielsa does play, and there hasn't been that much change in the squad, do you think that it could be taking its toll physically, which is why they're picking up so many injuries this season? Let me know what your thoughts are on that, because I think that's what it could be. Come on, Wolves. They outplayed Everton in that first half an hour. Yes, you did. Jose Sarr, again, making a great save at the end. If you can pick up some consistency, Jose Sarr, I think that he could be a good goalkeeper for you guys and could be underrated and underrated by me, because I've spoken a lot about Jose Sarr. He makes wonderful saves. That's I've seen that happen when he was playing at Olympiacos, but he makes a lot of errors too, and too many at that. Pride in the Midlands. Jimenez, what a beast, coming back exactly. Scoring his first goal at the Molineux for a while. Forgot West Ham were that high in the table. Exactly. 17 points out of 30. We haven't played a big team yet. Do you know what I mean, man? And now they're starting to come in thick and fast. You played Liverpool. They're a big team. Spurs, no, they're not a big team. I agree with you on that. Apart from Liverpool, but we don't talk about that. Big up, bro. Respecting the grind. Nah, man. Big up you guys. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for coming and watching me and supporting the content as well. I want to be bringing you these a lot more. And do you know what? You being here, smash that like button. And also, people, let me just, I need to say this because this is brought to you by Manscaped. They are also supporting the channel. So, guys, do check out manscaped.com in the description below. Go check it out. Go use Tereak20 for 20% off and free shipping on all products. For me, I recommend the Lawnmower 4.0 to mow the lawn to make sure your crown jewels are staying nice and clean and sharper than my trim at the moment. I can tell you that for a fact. But yeah, guys, also you can use it in different parts of your area if you don't grow too much hair down there. You know, it's male grooming. Go check out all their products. Use Tereak20 for 20% off and free shipping. I do recommend them for you. So yes, they are supporting the channel too. And if you do use that, you're supporting me too. So thank you very much. Appreciate you all for joining, everyone. Have a good one. I won't be here tonight. I will be catching you tomorrow for the Liverpool Atletico Madrid game. So keep that in your reminders. Put that in your diary. Keep that notification bell on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you're watching this afterwards. Let me know your thoughts. I miss you. I miss you all already. But take care, guys. Have a good day and peace.